up mga brads? It's your boy next door JD. Welcome to F.Y.I Talks because there are facts that you should know. And yes mga brads, it's a new episode of F.Y.I Talks. At ito ang magiging pinaka-favorite kong episode because time is gold. It's all about time and what are the connections of time in our daily life. So with no further ado, let's start this video. Ano ang pagkakaiba ng Filipino time sa American time and Japanese time? Well, there's actually a reason why Filipino time is a thing. Picture this. You turn off at an event 30 minutes late. You probably didn't mean to, but that's just how things turned out. When you get there, you realize you're not late at all because the organizers accounted for Filipino time and set the real start of the event an hour later than stated. Bakit? Why? Because noong panahon ng mga Kastila, ang huling pagdating o pagiging late sa mga okasyon ay isang status symbol. Kaya naman ginaya ito ng mga Pilipino sa pag-aakalang importante sila para hintayin sila. Well, that sort of settles it, but why? Why have most Filipino carried on the same habit until now? Has it become genetic memory, instinct, or has it become part of our culture? Maybe so because hanggang sa ngayon, marami pa rin sa atin ang gumagaya or ginagawa pa rin yung ating nakasanayang Filipino time na usually late tayo sa mga usapan or mga plano, ganun. So, yung mga brads. So, ang American time naman, medyo simple lang naman ang American time compared sa Filipino time. American time is an urban saying that means lot of spare of time that was wasted and spent for nothing important. So, ang pinaka-meaning ng American time is aksaya ng oras sa mga walang katuturang mga bagay, mga ganun mga brads. So, ano naman ang Japanese time? Importance of time in Japan. Japanese people are very punctual. As they say, trains, buses, and even taxi always come on time. People get ready 10 minutes before they are actually start something. As we all might have noticed, Japanese people are concerned about being punctual. It is a common sense for Japanese to be prompt, and we all need to be aware that being prompt in Japanese society has a significantly different meaning to that in other countries. So, ang Japanese time naman, mga brads, ay usually always on time. Kung ano ang oras na usapan nyo, madalas sila pa yung nauuna doon. Sila medyo, masabi natin na sila yung different, sila yung other version ng mga Filipino na usually tayo mga Pilipino is late. So sila naman yung maaga. So far, palagay ko naman ako Japanese time dahil medyo malabo akong mati. Kasi madalas naman talaga ahead ako ng mga 5 minutes pero hindi pa ako Japanese. So hindi naman masasabi na lahat ng Pilipino ay gumagaya or ginagawa yung Filipino time na habit natin yun, mga friends. So, ano nga ba ang time? Time is the continuous sequence of events that take place in an apparently irreversible succession from the past through the present to the future. A person lives in this world within a time that is expressed in the same matter. For 10 years ago, you were not the same as you are today. Neither in your appearance, nor in your knowledge, nor in your experiences. Everything around you changes with the passage of time. The importance of time in our life. Time is related to all that is going around us. So we often hear about time dimension because time is an essential element of life. Time represents special milestones, including birthdays, anniversaries, and the birth of babies, and help us organize our daily lives and activities so we can live a more organized and productive life. For sunset till night, high tide and low tide, due to the moon and the four seasons, everything is completely time dependent. Human life is measured by time, and the cycle of the sun, moon, and earth is known as time. And through time, we know the year, month, week, day, hour, minute, second, and parts thereof. And each time help us to calculate the speeds of objects and the like. In time, we know history of events that are taking place around us, and it helps us in documenting these events. Historians rely on time to determine the time of a specific incident. Time also matters in determining the age of antiquities and artifacts. The more time and time obsolete it is, the more valuable and more expensive it is. At the time, we know the acts of worship, especially the prayer which God made upon the believers, a time book, meaning that is performed at the appointed time without delay. Likewise, we find that all worship has a close relationship with time. Why does time matter so much? Here are the 10 reasons why time is important. Number 1, time acts as both as a teacher and a healer. Sometimes the only way to get a new healthy outlook on a situation is to give it time. Time teaches us the value of life and make you feel happy to be alive. A difficult or painful situation will seem less bad as time passes. Number 2, time is one thing that you can never get back. Once time has gone, it will never return. Number 3, nobody knows how much time they have. People can die at any age for any reason. Number 4, every single thing in the universe is bound to time. Gradually, all things start aging and eventually decay as time progresses. Number 5, we are aware of 3 stages of time: the past, the present, and the future. But only time we actually have is the present. Number 6, time affects happiness. A person's perspective of time has a big impact on their happiness and peace of mind. Number 7, mastering our valuable time is essential. Managing it poorly or well has a huge impact on life. Number 8, skills development takes time. Whether that skill is what you love or what you think is best for your future. It depends on how much time you invest. Number 9, relationships are made or broken due to the amount of time you invest. The amount of time you invest is often the main difference between a deep relationship, loyalty, and one that's shallow. Number 10, everyone has the same 24 hours a day. So no one can complain about not having time for the things they want to do. So why is time important in relationship? One of the simplest thing you can do for your relationship is be proactive in managing the time you spend on yourself, being a couple, and being a family. Many times life gets busy and committed partner slips into becoming a roommate who is also exhausted. Work, kids, social obligations, all these things will take every bit of your time. Every bit of your time you have and more if you do not manage them. Folks who make love last learn how to set boundaries in their different roles and give time to what is important to them. Think about this. If you are a parent, then you must take time for yourself as an individual, yourself as part of a couple, yourself as your role in your larger family. Dedicate too much time to one of those identities and the others become neglected. Also, problems can pop up in the role where you are over functioning. So let's look at how a bit of time management in each role can lead into lasting love. Individual self. Oftentimes, people think that the solution to every problem in a relationship is to spend more time together. More closeness that can actually do harm to a loving relationship. Can you truly desire what you never miss? Spend too much time together and contempt can block out any appreciation for your partner. I think of it as self-induced cabin fever. Making some for your individual self allows you to practice self-care as well as miss the people in your life that you love. A moment to pursue your own passions while having a little vacation away from your responsibilities as a partner or a parent does a world of good. You rejoin your relationship roles with energy and possibly new insights into your appreciation all of your loved ones. A little bit of space in a relationship allows longing to reignite passions of flame. Also, all sorts of wonderful things can happen if you take a little time to nurture your individual self. Just be sure that you don't fall into the trap of spending too much time in this role. Resentments can early develop when one's partner feels they are too alone within a relationship. So after some individual time, make sure to set up time to devote to your other roles. Couple. Many folks look back at the beginning of their relationship with fondness. They remember all the dates, trips, and happy times discovering each other. Then work, PTA meetings, the lawn, all of these things seem to conspire to take over your life. Your relationship is left longing. There are three main ways to make time for your partnership. You have to make time to talk, time to date, and time to connect physically. Time to talk includes conversation about what is working well and challenges within your relationship. If your parents use this time to discuss your dynamics as a couple, focus on your role within the larger family will be discussed at a different time. Making time to communicate about your relationship will help you avoid conflicts in the future and help you feel like a teammate with your partner. Working together against the chaos of the world, taking time to have a date night is so important too. Life cannot be all work. So a night to focus on connecting and enjoyment helps strengthens a relationship. This could be anything from a fancy dinner out to a walk around town lake. Just taking a little time to establish your romantic connection will strengthen your relationship. It makes a deposit into your relationship's emotional bank account so that when you need to make a withdrawal in the future, your relationship can withstand it. Family. The last place that requires time management is your family. Be it your own children, extended family, or family of choice. Obligations tend to reign in this area of our lives. So many people find it challenging to set time boundaries with family. Too much time in this role can lead to resentments. If you've ever been the primary caregiver for your kids on a particularly rough day, you know too well what can easily happen. You can get snappy, frustrated, and eventually in desperate need of some time outside of your role as a caregiver. Too much time as a caretaker with no time to practice self-care can lead to issues in coupling. The only adult interaction makes for a place to pour out difficult feelings. On the positive side of managing time in the role of family, seeing your partner interact within the larger family unit allows you a chance to see your partner in a new light. The time they take explaining something to their nephew reminds you of the tenderness you first saw in your partner. You can come together with your partner to bring joy to others, such as planning a surprise party for a friend or helping an elderly relative with yard work. So, what is space time? In physical science, single concept that recognizes the union of space and time. First proposed by the mathematician Hermann Minkowski in 1908 as the way of reformulate Albert Einstein's special theory of relativity in 1905. Common intuitions previously proposed no connection between space and time. Physical space was held to be flat. Three-dimensional continuum, an arrangement of all possible point location to which Euclidean postulates would apply to such a special manifold. Cartesian coordinates seemed most naturally adapted and straight lines could be conveniently accommodated. Time has viewed independent of space as a separate one-dimensional continuum, completely homogeneous along its infinite extent. Any now in time could be regarded as an origin from which to take duration past or future to any other time instant. Uniformly moving spatial coordinate systems attached to uniform time continua represented all unaccelerated motions, the special class of so-called inertial reference frames. The universe, according to this convention, was called Newtonian. In a Newtonian universe, the laws of physics would be the same on all inertial frames, so that one could not single out one as representing an absolute state of rest. In Minkowski universe, the time coordinate of one coordinate system depends on both the time and space coordinates of another relatively in moving system according to the rule that forms the essential alteration required for Einstein's special theory of relativity. According to Einstein's theory, there is no such thing as simultaneity at two different points of space. Hence, no absolute time is as in the Newtonian universe. The Minkowski universe, like its predecessor, contains a distinct class of inertial reference frames, but now special dimensions, mass, and velocities are all relative to the inertial frame of the observer, following specific laws formulated by H.A. Lorentz and later forming the central rules of Einstein's theory and its Minkowski interpretation. Only the speed of light is the same in all inertial frames. Every set of coordinates or particular space-time event in such universe described is here now or a world point. In every inertial reference frame, all physical laws remain unchanged. Einstein's general theory of relativity again make use of a four-dimensional space-time but incorporates gravitational effects. Gravity is no longer thought of as a force, as in the Newtonian system, but as a cause of a warping of space-time. An effect described explicitly by a set of equations formulated by Einstein. The result is a curved space-time as opposed to the flat Minkowski space-time where trajectories of particles are straight lines in a inertial coordinate system. To Einstein, in Einstein's curved space-time, a direct extension of Riemann's notion of curved space, if a particle follows a whorl line or geodesic, somewhat analogous to the way a billiard ball on a warped surface would follow a path determining the warping or curvings of the surface. One of the basic tenets of a general relativity is that inside a container following a geodesic of spacetime, such as an elevator in a free fall, or a satellite orbiting the Earth, the effect would be the same as total absence of gravity. The path of light rays are also geodesics of space, geodesics of time of a special sort called null geodesics. The speed of light again has the same constant velocity in both Newton's and Einstein's theories. The route from gravitational masses to the paths of particles is rather roundabout. In the Newtonian formulation, the masses determine the total gravitational force at any point, which the Newton's third law determines the acceleration of the particle. The actual path, as in the orbit of a planet, is found by solving a differential equation. In general relativity, one must solve Einstein equations for a given situation to determine the corresponding structure of spacetime. Then solve the second set of equations to find the path of a particle, however, by invoking the general principle of equivalence between the effects of gravity and of uniform acceleration. Einstein was able to deduce certain effects such as the deflection of light when passing a massive object such as a star. The first exact solution of Einstein's equation for a single spherical mass was carried out by a German astronomer Karl Schwarzschild. So, for so-called small masses, the solution does not differ too much from that afforded by the Newton's gravitational law, but enough to account for the previously unexplained size of the advance of the perihelion of Mercury. For large masses, the Schwarzschild solution predicts unusual properties. Astronomical observation of dwarf stars eventually led by the American physicists J. Robert Oppenheimer and H. Snyder to postulate super-dense states of matter. This and the other hypothetical conditions of a gravitational collapse were born out of in later discoveries of pulsars, neutron stars, and black holes. A subsequent paper of Einstein applies the theory of general relativity to cosmology, and in fact represent the birth of a modern cosmology. In it, Einstein looked for models of the entire universe that satisfy his equations, under suitable assumptions about the large-scale structure of the universe, such as its homogeneity, meaning the space-time looks the same in any part as any other part. Under those assumptions, the solution seemed to imply that space-time was either expanding or contracting. And in order to construct a universe that did neither, Einstein added an extra term to his equation, the so-called cosmological constant, when observational evidence later revealed that the universe did in fact seem to be expanding. Einstein withdrew the suggestion, however. Closer analysis of the expansion of the universe during the late 1990s once more led astronomers to believe that the cosmological constant should be indeed included in Einstein equations. And that's it, mga brads. Nalaman na natin kung ano-ano nga ba ang meron sa time. Although much broader pa yung meaning or yung kung ano yung meron sa time, pero kahit paano meron naman siguro kayong natutunan or nakuha dun sa mga examples or meaning ko na binigay sa about time. So, alam naman natin na time is very important in our life. in life of Earth and in life in universe. So, kaya nasabi ko yung title na is gold, time is gold. Although yun yung kasabihan natin na usually ginagamit, but literally time is a gold na hindi natin pwedeng itapon or baliwalain or basta-basta na lang i-accumulate or basta ang pinaka punot dulo ng sinasabi ko is ang time ay very 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 important sa buhay natin. So let's not waste time in any other things na wala namang katuturan or wala namang tayong mapapala or walang magandang maidudulot sa ating mga buhay. Lalong-lalo na sa buhay natin dito sa mundo dahil as time passes, lahat tayo ay kahit paano pupunta sa, alam nyo na, yung mag-age tayo, tatanda tayo, and kalaunan, mamamatay tayo. And sana bago man mangyari yon, lahat ng time sa buhay natin nagamit natin sa tama. So sana this time dahil na ngayon pandemic, this time kahit paano nagamit natin sa magandang way yung lahat ng time na binigay sa atin ni God, lalong-lalo na nung time na na-lockdown tayo, because time is very important in every step of the way and in every path that we take. So sana magkaroon pa tayo ng more time to bond, to connect, and to apply something good in our life. So, yun mga brads. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe sa aking channel mga brads. I-click na rin ang notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa aking mga bagong videos and episode for F.Y.I. Talks. See you mga brads! Peace out! Salud!